questions.
Bum, bum, bum,
Don't
bum.
we have them all? Who wants to bring us in?
All right, so wheel of questions. This is that famous time again, guys and gals. If you have a question for the wheel, feel free to email us at dweekenda2z at gmail.com. You can also leave a question or leave your question on our YouTube page.
Yep, just give us just put your question in the comment of our
Any of the
our
videos.
videos, and we will get it and we will put it on the wheel.
After we vet it.
Of course.
Yes. I like the little startup sound. Hmm.
Ooh, this is a tough one. So,
Oh,
what is your
Oh.
favorite movie genre from Jorge Miave?
all right.
I totally read that
Jorge.
as York. He's European.
Or as white people would say it, George Meavy.
Yeah.
Miav.
Meavy.
What is your favorite movie? Sorry, Ace.
I would say comedy, man. It's pretty easy for me.
Action.
Action.
Yeah, like Six Underground was awesome.
I still haven't watched that yet.
Oh my gosh, just the
Wait, which
amount
one
of
was Six Underground?
that's the one with Ryan Reynolds. All the this,
Oh, okay.
so
It's on Netflix,
Yeah,
I
saw
think,
it.
right?
No,
Shannon,
yeah, I saw it.
Shannon and I watched it, and I mean, I was like, "Oh my god, did you see what happened to that guy?" And she's like, "I can't watch this. This is too much for me."
Okay, I
Just-
want to come
it's
back to that.
gratuitous violence with bodies being just crushed by cars and whatnot. I was like, dude,
But not in a comedic way like Deadpool.
it was comedic to me. It was awesome.
Wow. We're
It
learning
was
a little bit
awesome.
about Alan tonight.
I was like, man, that like they bumped over the dude when they ran him over.
Let's
Yeah.
see. For me, I don't know. I think I love superhero movies,
Yeah.
MCU stuff, and
Mhm.
like that. But I think I would have to say my favorite is fantasy movies, like
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Yeah.
Wait, has
Yes,
Dune
no.
come out yet?
Dune has not
No.
come out yet.
Brazzers.com.
Nope, not that kind of movie.
Not that kind of fantasy.
Not that kind of fantasy. No, no. Like old 80s fantasy, like Legend, like the one where it was Tom Cruise and Tim Curry played the son of the devil.
Not
And
watched that
the
one.
never-ending story.
Never-ending story. I
Never-ending
love the
story.
Never-ending Story.
Labyrinth.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, Princess
know,
Bride. Yeah.
I love Princess.
I need to watch that
Like, who
too.
doesn't like that movie?
And then you get, and then
Still
you
haven't watched it.
Labyrinth. Those are the ones that I grew up
Okay.
with. And then you got into like, once
Dark
you got
Crystal.
into like
That was
Dark
good.
Crystal was great.
Yeah.
But then you got into once you got into more recent times with like The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogies and stuff
I
like that.
really liked those movies.
I'd love to see another good fantasy movie.
Okay.
Like, I would love to see one of those. And then I also, I really like sci-fi stuff as well.
Ooh. Also, one of my favorite series recently is the John Wick series.
Oh, John Wick was
It's just like no nonsense, right?
See,
amazing.
but again, that is like gratuitous violence. The amount of bodies that are like, where are these guys coming from? Like, how are there so many dudes just like pouring into like this pit of death? But,
Okay, so speaking of sort of like I told y'all that I just finished Star Wars Rebels, an animated series. It's only 4 seasons, and they're talking about like the whole time they're like, we're Jedi, we need to take care of our people, and people are dying or they're getting hurt, because of the Empire. But like literally, they're destroying Star Destroyers, which hundreds, if not thousands, of people on these
Yeah.
destroyers. They just blow them up, and it's just like, but because like
those guys.
and some of the storylines, they're training with some of these troopers. They're just kids, and I'm like, okay, y'all are just like super hypocritical.
Younglings, Anakin. Younglings.
All right.
Scott,
So
what do
about
you
you,
got?
Scott?
So we got action, we got comedy, we got mystery, what are
Drama, thrillers,
drama,
horror movies.
No, man, that's a tough one. I've got 3, and I don't know. Comedies, horror movies, and horror. Brazzers.com. and action. So I will try to make it to the theater. Well, on just about everything, but like most definitely. Does Avengers count as action? That would be action, right?
Yeah,
Action,
it's a
fantasy.
superhero movie, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would say that Avengers would be more of an action, movie.
I guess
I mean,
action is where it's at for me. So
if I had to choose a favorite, it would be action. But I mean, I like thrillers. I like dramas.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like
We said
the psychological thrills where you have to like,
Okay, so
like Memento
said
if you
or
flip it,
Yeah.
like for me, I don't like realistic horror movies.
no
You know, like
exorcism movies. No.
yeah, or
Saw,
like anything that's
stuff
just
like that.
gory. Yeah, like Saw to be gory. I'm like,
Saw was just gross at some point. At a certain point, it was just like, all right, I get it, but
No, I'm not a horror movie fan at all. I've never. Well, I've also I also felt that like a lot of those movies rely on jump scares,
Yep.
and to me, jump scares are cheap. It's not a
Yeah.
it's a visceral reaction that is, you know, that you try to avoid in your day-to-day life, and it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to pay money to experience that. I feel the same way about haunted houses. It's like I've gone through haunted houses. I'm not terrified of them, but it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to pay $20 for someone just to jump out at me. You know,
Yeah,
if you're gonna
yeah.
scare me, like scare me for real.
Yeah, like
for
I
real?
I go to those all the time with the twins, but it's like it to me. It's just like I know it's fake, you know.
Yeah.
And then most of the time, the actors aren't allowed to touch me, so it's kind of like, okay,
The ones that get me
Yeah.
is like when you go around a corner and you're like expecting somebody to be there, and then nobody's there, and you're like, oh, nobody's there, and then somebody comes out, and you're like, "Ah!" that's what. Those are the jump scares that I like. But in movies, I agree with Justin. They're cheap. Every now and then, I will have this weird, like, I'm gonna watch a scary movie, but I'll watch it like broad daylight, windows open.
See,
No,
my
I'm
wife
serious. I don't-
loves scary
you have
movies.
someone on the phone with you.
Yeah.
At your blink.
Stay on the phone. Don't hang up. Are you still
Yeah.
there?
No,
Yeah,
my
no,
wife loves scary
Yes,
movies.
I'm
My
still
wife
there.
will watch. My wife will
Upstairs.
binge watch
In the
like
closet.
bad B-rated horror movies, like
Well,
they're
those are
going out
fun
of
to
style.
watch. Yeah.
Yes, yes and
Sharknado.
no.
It's not a horror movie, but it was funny.
Oh,
It was
here's the
so
thing.
bad it's funny. Yeah.
No, there is a it's in the horror movie genre, and it's a great movie, and it's so funny because it kind of took all of the tropes of horror movies and turned them on its head. It's called Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Okay.
It's hilarious because it takes these two college kids are going, gonna go stay at a cabin in the woods, blah blah
And
blah
you're
blah,
like,
blah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, and then there's Tucker and Dale, who are like the two hillbillies who are just out trying to go fishing or whatever, and one of the college kids is the murderer, but everybody thinks that it's them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like there's part of it where they're doing work and they have one of those tree shredders,
Oh.
I remember
And-
you showed that
and
to
there's-
us.
and this kid is like the kid is like there is running away from, or the kid's trying to attack the hillbilly guy because he thinks he's killing him, and the hillbilly guy like turns and like bends over to do something. The kid jumps to lunge at him and
Yeah, and lands
throws
in the
himself and throws
into the
himself in the
chipper.
thing, and it's like, and he's like what the hell are these kids trying to, they're just killing
We're
themselves
trying to help
around
them.
us. I'm trying to help them and they keep trying to kill it. He's like, I think it's one of and they think it's a cult of like Heaven's
Personality?
Gate where they're trying to kill themselves and stuff. It's just funny.
Everybody's got
That's
their
like
choice.
Shaun of the Dead. That's probably one of
Yeah.
my favorites.
Yeah. I like movies like that where they kind of like poke fun at the stuff.
Yeah.
The last like kind of creepy thriller is actually what it's classified as. It was Sea Fever, and it was on Hulu.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was creepy, and it wasn't. Most scary movies I feel are very predictable. Like, okay, the guy's going to come out here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this person's going to die in this way. Whereas this Sea Fever was not like that to me, but I liked it. I mean, it's a little slow, but
Well, and the other thing for me is if you take everything that a horror movie is and you change them from monsters to aliens and you put it in space, I'm all about it. Aliens is a horror movie.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
I love that movie. It's so great. I could watch it all the time. But
Predator's the same way. Yeah. All the
it's,
time.
but again, if you make them aliens, I'm fine with it. If you make them gory monsters or whatever, I'm out.
Yeah.
Especially because it was like I grew up in the 80s, so it was like Friday the 13th and Halloween and Nightmare
Freddy
on Elm
Krueger,
Street.
yeah.
Yeah, Nightmare and all that stuff. And it was like it was just too much after a while.
Yeah.